Hello, I'm Brandy Agerbeck of LooseTooth.com, and we are currently nestled between Black Friday and Cyber Monday of 2013. I do not have anything to sell to you today. I have something to share. And years ago, my friend Amihan gave me this 1-inch button that said, "Stop shopping, start thinking." So much wisdom on one tiny little button. And I loved and appreciated that sentiment so much that I designed my own version of it right there. Stop shopping, start thinking. So that I could, spread that idea to other folks. Here's the thing. I like nice things. I want you to have nice things. I don't want to take away your nice things. I don't want to yuck your wow about the holidays and the sales and blah, blah, blah. I just know that I'm somebody who likes stuff a lot, and I've had a lot of stuff, and I've collected a lot of stuff. I've gotten myself into debt, and I worked myself out of debt, debt-free, way to go. So, I've got a love-hate, mostly love relationship with stuff. And I strive to just be more conscientious about the stuff in my life, where it came from, what I spent on it, what I do with it, where it goes when I don't need it anymore. So a couple years ago, I took a class at the Newberry Library with Anne Elizabeth Moore on printed ephemera. So we talked about booklets and zines and all sorts of these things, these printed objects that people use to share ideas that really aren't meant to be terribly permanent. And that gave me a great opportunity to expand on this idea because we had the assignment to create our own piece of printed ephemera. So I took this button and these questions that I would commonly ask myself, and I created this little booklet. Stop shopping, start thinking, an itty-bitty workbook of conscientious consumerism. And on the back I wrote, consumed with the idea of buying something? Pause, take a deep breath, look at this piece of paper, answer these questions, consider options, and make more mindful buying decisions. Tuck a copy in your purse or wallet or set it next to your computer when you shop online and pass one along. And here, really, this is all about that little drawing right there. Buy less and appreciate more. Again, I want you to have nice things. I want you to love the stuff you have. But I know that I've found it really useful to sort of ask these questions so I don't end up surrounded by all this stuff. Because I've run into the problem that I think I make a to-do list and I add all these things to buy. And one day I had to tell myself buying things isn't the same thing as doing things. Important distinction. So believe me, I've been there. So if you would like your own little booklet, you can go to lib.loosetooth.com/SSST for Stop Shopping, Start Thinking. And when you do, you will find this PDF right here. Bing. So print out a copy of this PDF, and here is how you turn it into this little booklet. So the first thing you do is you take your printout and you fold it the long way in half. And I learned from Anne that this is called a hot dog fold because it's like a long, narrow hot dog bun. Then you fold your piece of paper in half again. And a third time. So now you have a piece of paper that's folded into eighths. So it's the size it's going to be, but it's not a booklet yet. Right now it's just a folded hunk of paper. So now you unfold it and then refold it in half the other direction. And now this is called a hamburger fold because it's more the dimensions of a hamburger bun versus a long, narrow hot dog bun. This is all the snazzy jargon from the biz of making microcomics. So now that it's folded in half, what you're going to want to do is here's the outside edge of the paper, here's the folded edge of the paper, and you are going to want to cut between this intersection between the folds out to the folded edge. So you're going to make a cut right there like that, okay? So we do that. We go slicey, slicey, cut, cut. And now you've got your piece of paper with a cut in the middle of the paper. And now you fold it back into a hamburger fold, narrow. Then you squish it together, push it together, and then we're going to get sort of like an X shape like this. And then you're going to flatten it out. Now it's flat. And now you fold it over so that your cover Your outside panel is the cover. And now you've got your own little booklet. Ta-da! And basically this is one sheet of paper that if I am all sort of like wound up thinking, oh my gosh, I totally need this thing, after spending hours of, scouring Etsy or eBay or any site, I stop and I ask these questions for myself. The first panel is sort of what the heck is making you want to buy the thing in the first place. So it says, consider the next thing you want to acquire and ask these questions. Ask and answer these questions. What needs will this fill? What desires? Does this item support or detract from what matters most to me? What will this item mean to me now, 3 months from now, in a year, or 10 years from now? I know personally there's a lot of stuff I want right now, and if I think it through, it's probably not going to matter even 3 months from now. So those are the first questions to ask. And then the next page, we have some more questions. So sort of imagine that object that you want to buy. And the first is, do I already own something like it? This is usually at the point where I say, yes, I do. And I close my little booklet and I don't buy something because I'm almost 40. I got the stuff I want. I got stuff I really love. And so often if I'm attracted to something, I catch myself and it's like, yeah, you like it because you already own something just like it. So just go like that thing you already got. So, again, do I already own something like it? Do I have something else that can fill the same need or want? Can I make it? I know not everyone's a maker, but sometimes you can make stuff. Could I borrow it? Something I don't really need that often. Is it better just to borrow it from somebody else rather than buy your own version of it? Can I get it used? So if you answer no to all these questions, maybe it's time to buy that thing you're considering. I also like this question here, and it's about time versus money. How many hours, days, weeks do I need to work to pay for this object? And conversely, how many hours, days, weeks of use and enjoyment will I get from it? So for example, this is my favorite tea mug, coffee mug. And I spent $30 from JD Wolf Pottery in Milwaukee on Etsy to get this mug. And you think $30, like, that's a pretty pricey mug. And it is. You could easily go to some big box store and get a mug for $2, $3, $4. You go to a thrift store and get a mug for 50 cents. I got to tell you, I have gotten so much enjoyment from this mug. This is my mug. This is the mug. This is the mug I drink everything out of. I love the shape of it. The size is enormous. I love the way it feels in my hands. And so for me, the $30 and the time it took me to earn those $30 is personally inconsequential to all the time I have enjoyed this mug. That's just an example. But I really like thinking about that, time versus money. So that is the second set of pages. And the last set of pages are thinking about what the source where you're getting this mug. For instance, think about where is it coming from and where are you buying it from? Like sort of what are the materials, labor, practices, resources, transportation were used to make this object? And the same questions about what all the resources were used to sell the product. Now in this case, this was made by a woman, I think JD's a woman, in Milwaukee. And, she could be awesome. She could be terrible. I don't know. I do love this mug. I hope she's a very lovely, nice person. Because I do fundamentally feel like we vote with every dollar. We really support different enterprises with every dollar we spend. Once you have the object, asking the questions like, where will I store it? How can I share it? How long will it last? What upkeep will it need? And if it breaks, can I fix it? This actually replaced a mug that was broken. It was my go-to mug that was I loved and used forever and ever. And sadly, it broke. So this was the replacement mug. When I no longer need it, what will I do with it? Will I trash it? Will I recycle it? Will I sell it or give it away? In this case, I'm probably going to use the heck out of it till I break it. And when I break it, I probably won't be able to fix it. But again, it's just that idea of thinking about where the heck this thing came from, what resources were used to make it, what kind of use am I going to get out of it, what kind of upkeep does it need, and what the heck do I do with it when I no longer want or need it? So that is what's in this little workbook. And again, I'm not trying to bum you out about stuff. I just personally like to, make sure I think a little bit before I go and buy stuff, because I can totally get hooked. I can totally get into that zone of like, I need this thing. Oh, I totally need this thing. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do without this thing? And then I kind of step back, ask some of these questions, and I may not need it. I probably don't need it, probably want it. And then I think about, all these questions that just help me temper my thinking before I go crazy. Go crazy with all the Cyber Monday and all the Black Friday and all the holidays and da-da-da. So I want you to have wonderful holidays. I want you to be generous. I want you to give great gifts and receive great gifts. But if you like, there will be this little piece of paper now and past the holidays to help you stop shopping and start thinking. So well wishes to everyone, and thank you for watching.